I wanted to write a book to try and explain the process of making things. It's about the idea, it's about the inspiration. I wanted to bring the reader into the workshop and share the experience and the joy of making an object. But at the same time, I wanted to try and explain what happened after you'd made the object and how it takes on its own life and carries on, and the story continues, but with somebody else once you've parted with it. To drive the narrative, I decided to use memoir. So there are stories about me when I was a kid and my fantastic upbringing in the wilds of the countryside in Suffolk. And then it brings you up to date with me in my studio in London, designing collections of jewellery. I'm going off to Paris to the fashion shows. There's some elements of glamour there, of selling to celebrities and doing exhibitions and things. But the root of it all is set in my childhood. The approach I've taken to the book is pretty much the same as I've taken to making a piece of jewellery. So it started off with this idea, and then I've done my research to explore the idea. Now, in this case, I've used myself because I've used a lot of memoir in explaining the reasons for making, the reasons that I particularly want to make jewellery. I've taken those ideas and worked them into an object that is the book rather than a piece of jewellery. So I see the process has been very similar. Certainly the amount of work you have to put in is comparable. And the satisfaction, the feelings that I had while I was writing the book were very similar. I wanted to share with people the experience and the joy of making jewellery. I hope everyone would enjoy reading the book, not just people that have bought my jewellery and want to know more about it, but anyone interested in designing, making and selling things. I thought people might be curious, not only about what it was like growing up in the 60s and 70s in the wilds of Suffolk without much adult supervision, but more about what it's like to come up with an idea and to work at that and to actually turn it into a physical object. I've been doing this for more than 25 years now, and as my jewellery has become better known around the world, people ask me about my inspiration, and this is my attempt to explain things. I've not written a book before, but when I was 16, I'd not made a piece of jewellery before. When I was 16, I used to make go-karts and bows and arrows and things. It's supposed to be fun. I've enjoyed writing it, and I hope that people will enjoy reading it. Hopefully, I can actually bring the reader into the workshop and allow them to experience some of what I experience. It's not a manual explaining how to make jewellery. It's a story. But if I can excite and enthuse people to have a go at making jewellery, and there are more jewellers out there and I have more competitors, then that's a good thing. People who sometimes they know our work and sometimes they've bought pieces before, they come into the shop and they see the pieces that we've made and they buy them and they take them home and they give them as gifts or they wear them and they cherish them for years. And what's lovely here is that often the story changes. They put their own meaning onto the pieces. They weave their own stories into the pieces, which is sometimes quite different to the ones that I originally started from. But the point is that the narrative's there, the story's still there. So from start to finish, it's very much about communication, really. It's about sharing ideas with people.